All right, this is the Panzer AR12 Pro G2. It's the Pro with the metal lower. I'm gonna go ahead and tear the gun down and then put it back together. So a couple things you need. These two wrenches come with the gun. I use a kind of a screwdriver. You can use a punch to loosen those these pins that hold the upper and lower together. First thing you want to do, loosen this this barrel shroud or barrel cover. It's not a flash suppressor. It just serves to cover the barrel, and then it when it screws in, it keeps this this front this foregrip in place. So let's go ahead and loosen that. Just grab it. Put it down like this. Slide it off. Okay. From here, this whole front grip will come off. And be careful because there is a front plate in here that's loose. Don't lose that. You want to make sure that that stays with this piece, or at least you know where it is. From here, you can take the gas system apart. I do find it easier when I'm moving the gas system around. Lock the rear or lock the bolt back. It allows everything to move a little more freely, so you're not fighting the bolts. So lock that back. From here, loosen this nut from this. Okay. Just unscrews. Put that aside. Next thing you want to do, you can push this whole assembly back in, and then these two little half circle collet stopper things are going to fall off. There they go. Don't lose these, they're very crucial. From here, you can slide all these pieces off the front. So here's your outer piece, here's your inner, here's your spacer, there's this, and your spring. Okay, what you want to do before you use the gun, I would recommend that you clean it and you re-oil it. It does kind of two things. It cleans the shipping oil off. I think it's just an oil they ship to prevent corrosion. So what you want to do is clean it, get your own oil on there, and then secondly, it teaches you about the gun. So let's go ahead and separate the lower from the upper. To do that, we're going to release the bolt to release the tension back here. Okay. So here I take my screwdriver. You can take a punch, and then you got a pin here and a pin here. What you want to do is push that pin out. The rear pin, it takes a little bit of it's a little tighter in the front, so I just kind of give it a few taps like that. Move the gun up. I give it a few more taps. Okay. And then fully release the front pin. You'll see the whole thing kind of separate. There it goes. Pull them apart. There's your lower with your stock. Set that aside. From here, you take the bolt out. To do that, you got to take this little handle off. To take the handle off, you got to line it up. You'll see this little kind of the little tab here. You'll line that up right there, and once it's lined up, that'll just pull right off. You slide this whole thing like this. That separates. There's your bolt, shotgun bolt. Pretty standard, nothing crazy here. It's got your bolt lock on top here. So I did oil this already, so I'm not going to re-oil it. So let's go ahead and put it back together in reverse order. Put those two together. Slide that back in. Okay, get your little handle back in. You got to line it up there. Okay, push that in. You'll hear a click. From here, you can put the lower back on. I find it easier to get the lower in, put the front pin in first, and then kind of swing everything back into place. So, okay. There's the front pin, and then slide everything back into place. And then this one's kind of a little tougher to push in, but and then I got to tap it in the rest of the way. Okay. From there, you can put the gas system back together. Again, I find it easier when the And the bolt is locked back, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, first thing is the spring, then this. Then your spacer, then the inner piece, and the outer piece, and then again, it's easier to move this around when the bolt's locked back. That way you're not fighting the spring back here. So hold that with your hand like that, and then start putting. You can put these little collet pieces back in. Okay, just put these in like that, and then let this thing slide forward to lock those in place. There you go. Put your nut on. Okay, some people hand tighten these. I like to use the tools to tighten it. Just give it a good tighten there. And then put the front grip on. Again, I put my finger here to keep this little front plate in place, because if the barrel hits this piece, I could pop it out. Just slide that on. And it is indexed too, so there's a little indexing tab here that mates up with here to keep it all aligned. Okay. I'm going to give the barrel a little bit of a clean in here. Shove back on. There's a little indexing button here too, so you'll hear it kind of click into place as it gets tighter. Okay, let's tighten this. So that is tight right there. What I have found is when I'm firing the gun, only after a short while this front shroud here can get loose. So just make sure it's not hot or anything and tighten it. I find it doesn't get hot at all really. So just grab it, make sure it's tight. The other thing I want to do is make sure the choke is tight. I found that also loosens up a little bit over time. Go ahead and make sure that is tight. Okay. Then from here, just release the bolt. There you go. There's the teardown, and put back together of the Panzer AR12 Pro G2.